So, this is what it looks like after 3 takes and a lot of blowing up my nose, actually. But yeah, so that was a roller coaster. I haven't cried that hard over a movie in I don't know how long, so. But I'm gonna go clean up my face, and I'll be back. Oh my goodness. So, I wanted to respond right after I finished watching the movie, so I had the opportunity to have all of this emotion that this movie elicited, like, really upfront and close and personal. So here I am in my kitchen, and I think the hardest part of the movie for me was the initial clip in the front from when someone recorded the incident when it first happened in 2009, and I thought, oh my god, this is really real. And because I knew what had happened, I felt that tenseness in my body the whole time I was watching the movie, because you meet Oscar and you meet his daughter, you meet his friends, and you see his life, and you see the perception that he's such a human, like he's just a human, like you make mistakes. And I wanted so badly to get attached to him and just like fall in love with his personality and like this man that wants to do better for his family. And I couldn't let go of the fact that I knew that this man was dead. And like I knew that whatever I was about to watch happened in real time, like this. And I know Oscar Julius Grant the third, his movie, this film about him, he's only one person, and there's so many like him that die at the hands of police officers all the time. And that's so, I don't know, the movie made it really real for me. Like, it to have the look into somebody's life, I guess, because when someone dies, unfortunately, and you see it in the media, you only see clips of what the media portrays, so you're only seeing a very small percentage of this person's life. And this movie was an hour and a half, and it offered all of this insight and all of these different components that are in someone's life, and you don't get to see those in all of the other people that have lost their lives at the hands of police brutality. And you stop and think, like Trayvon Martin, his birthday was a couple days ago, and it's just so, I don't even know what I don't know. I just know that there is this pressure that's here, that's so unsettling that it I can feel it in my bones, and I know that that's only a percentage of what's possible, because thankfully I haven't lost someone that I love to police violence. So I can only imagine. I can't imagine the pain, and I just makes me so angry watching. And it's it started, although the altercation on the the train in Fruitvale station was gang related. And I mean, Oscar said that it wasn't the time or place, and still that man continued. But because that man was white, he was able to sit down and keep his head down in a train and not be a suspect when he was the perpetrator. He was the person who, through the first punch, he elicited this violence. But because there was only, was it one or two of them and a bunch of black men, that it was easier to assume that these were the ones that the black, that, you know, it was easier to assume that it was the black guys. And that's really, really messed up, because it wasn't. And I, watching the movie, it was so easy to think in my mind, like, why can't you just ask what happened? Like, hey, what is going on? But like trying to de-escalate the situation with anger and violence and yelling, like those police officers treated Oscar and his friends, like, that's not conflict resolution. That's not how you de-escalate a heightened situation. It creates more chaos. And I feel like a conversation could have been had, you know. But no, you know, they come in, and like, I understand as police officers, you have to be defensive, because you have to be aware of your surroundings, you have to be around the people, make split second decisions. But he came in angry. He came in with that power structure that, like, I'm here to fix you, and like, I'm here to make sure that, you know, to protect and serve. But really, he was only making situations worse, which was really hard to watch, because I'm unable, and I know that that's a point, that I'm unable to separate, like, Oscar's story in this film and all of the other individuals who have lost their lives. So it's like not only watching Oscar's story, it's like watching 15 other stories, or different variations where it could be even worse. There could be situations even worse. And I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I could respond to this better. But I guess the emotions are, you know, making everything more difficult. But I've never done this before. And I think of YouTubers who sit in front of their camera and they talk to millions of subscribers. And I wonder, does it make everything better because the glare's off? I don't know. I'll be back. Oops. I'm trying to think about what I would say if I was, you know, writing, if that were an easier form of communication than looking at myself in this webcam trying to figure out how to put emotions into words, but I don't know how to put emotions into words without repeating the phrases of like being so angry and so frustrated that these incidents happen to people, unarmed individuals, rash decisions without knowing details. Because from an outside perspective, it's so easy, like I said, for me to see what could have been done that wouldn't have been that kind of outcome. As if I could push pause and, like that movie click, you push pause and you can rewind, and like claymation, fix people's body parts, remold them, change them. So lives like Oscar's and Javon's and Michael's and a variety of other people's names that I can't think of right now because I can't stop thinking about the actual clips that they used in that movie. Like the opening scene was someone's video camera from that situation, and there's something bone-chillingly uncomfortable about watching someone die, despite that it was, years ago. But I can't even say that it was years ago because what is that doesn't matter. What is the time length that is significant that an innocent life was lost at the hands of someone that was supposed to protect them? I think that's what's so hard, is that it's one thing that I found interesting about the entire conflict at the end of the movie between the police officers and Oscar and his friends is that at the end, when Oscar's dying on, the platform, and the officer that originally came in with all of this power and all of this anger and all of this, like, this masculinity coming in, like, I'm gonna find you, and we're gonna do this, and like all of this anger and hostility, like that shield that dropped, and then you see his human when he's holding Oscar. He's like, look at me, and it's like, why where were you when this started? Like, that man, see it getting emotional. That man, was face to face with Oscar, who, he's dying, and he's this person, and it's man to man, like, holding him, like, it's so frustrating. They're like, why weren't you a human then? Because that man coming into the situation and treating people like humans, and he wouldn't have died. And it's really just that character change from when we first see that the bald police officer that comes in and he uses the profanity, and he's like the lead one, to he's the first police officer that encounters Oscar in the last one, and they're two different people, but they're the same person. And it's overwhelming because it's not fiction. it's not fiction, and it's not stopping, and it's real, and there could be more movies made. But how many movies about young people of color dying need to be filmed and produced for there to be a change, for there to have some type of illicit response, for these cops to stop killing people? Like, I don't know where it like what else? Like, do more films need to be made? Do more conversations obviously need to be had? Like, what is it gonna take to humanize these people, so these people in relation to the African Americans that are targeted every day by police officers? Um, but what it's going to take for them to be humanized enough to not be killed every day, or almost every day. I don't know, but watching those clips in that movie, the movie itself was clearly emotional, but still, that's produced, and Michael B. Jordan's not dead. Like, who he represented in that film is not dead. I mean, who he represented in that film is dead, but he, as an actor, is not dead. But those clips of the gunshot, that's not a film. That's not produced. That's not make believe, and that just sends chills down my spine, and it makes my heart hurt, and my ribs tight, and I ache for the moms and the lovers and the friends that were so commonly in Miss Wanda's spot, hearing that their son didn't make it and that it was ruled a homicide by a police officer, not a criminal, or not gang related, but someone who's supposed to serve you and protect you, even when all that was happening. Serve and protect. Yeah, well, that obviously didn't go very well. It takes effort and policing strategies and a group effort, and it takes a village, as most things do. I just don't want it to take any more death, but unfortunately there are still individuals out there that share a common discriminatory, stereotypical, and pompous view of human beings that do not share the same skin pigment as them, which is very sad. And although I'm not entirely religious, more spiritual really, I hope something somewhere gives them a change of something, so their first instinct isn't to pull a trigger. I've never done one of these before, so I'm not going to think too much about it, because if I sit here and I go through this and I nitpick it and I overthink it, then it's not going to be the authentic, teary-eyed, sniffly, literally just stopped watching that movie and pulled myself together enough to get here, talk about how very real Fruitvale Station was and how incredible that movie was. Have a good day.